All right, welcome to June's grounding meditation. Tonight you're going to learn 2 tools to help you set some energetic boundaries for yourself. Some of you who have private sessions with me, I've taught you these tools, but I'll go into a little bit more depth about boundaries tonight. And for those of you who I've kind of educated you on using these 2 tools, it may be a reminder for you on how to apply the tool. Or it may be just a reminder to actually use the tool. I hear people say all the time, someone keeps getting in my space. And I also hear people say, people keep asking me to do something and I don't want to do them, but I can't say no. And then they're irritated by the people who are doing the asking, but they won't say no to them. That's for a couple reasons that we'll get into in a moment here. First off, people can't get into your space or your personal space or your energetic space, I should say, unless you let them in. We have seniority over our space. So when we say people keep getting in my space, it's because we either allow them in energetically, you have an agreement with them, or you just haven't again set the boundaries. So the tools tonight will help you to do that, or to help you create a little more space and be able to say no. Well, perhaps it'll help you. That can be a tough one, because when we're really programmed by people over and over throughout our life to do stuff we don't want to do, then we feel really obligated. So we'll talk about that in a moment. So being able to say no is your right. It's, you have the right to set your personal boundary. And when, if you're afraid you're going to make somebody upset or put them into pain because you said no, that's their problem. If you say, no, I don't want to do that, or that doesn't work for me, and they get upset, it's their own stuff getting triggered. Or it also means that you kind of called them out on their actions and they may go into pain, but let people have their pain. It's through pain that you can help them to find their own answers or create their own growth. So when someone talks you into doing something you didn't want to do, or you don't speak up for yourself, remember, you're not a victim. We get mad at the person that's asking us, but we're really upset with ourselves for not having applied those boundaries. So you may say, wanting to say no, 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 and you keep saying yes, 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 and then you get really angry. So tonight we'll talk about how to say no, and also what you can do to keep that person from continually coming into your space. Remember, if you have a repetitive pattern you're working through, like not setting boundaries or getting mad at somebody that oversteps your boundaries, that people will continue to come in on those pictures. It's like perhaps a pattern you're trying to work through in your life. So you have to realize that if it's something that keeps happening to you, you're going to keep magnetizing those people in for your lessons until you change the pattern. So, get help, have a session, find somebody that can help you set those boundaries using your throat chakra, saying no if these tools are not enough. So people are here to teach us. And so I don't get upset when that happens to me. I look at it as a lesson. I don't see things, I always say this, I don't see things as problems. I see them as ways to learn or ways to change. So we'll go through this in just a moment here. Let's go ahead and get our bodies grounded first, like we always do in this meditation. So you have a way to release energies out of your body and kind of cleanse and release and replenish. So go ahead and close your eyes and find your grounded space. Locate your spine, follow it down to the base of your spine. And it's from this point where you're going to create your grounding cord. So with your eyes closed, you're just going to create a line of energy from the base of your spine. Could look like a hollow tube, a giant tree trunk. Have that line of energy go through the layers of the planet without overthinking it and plug into the crystalline core. Remember, once you connect to the center of the planet with your grounding cord, that will work instantly with gravity to start pulling energies you want to release out of your body and down your grounding cord into the center of the planet, where that energy gets recycled. Remember, this is a no effort space, so you do not have to worry about trying to force energy out. Let gravity pull it out. So once you have your grounding cord attached in the center of the planet, I want you to imagine that you can expand that out to at least hips width. So that grounding cord is as wide at your hips as it is in the center of the planet, as it is in the center of the planet. With a wider grounding cord, it will be easier to release more energies with more ease. Remember, you can make a waterfall flowing 360 down the inside if you like. Help release some energies. You could imagine having a bottle of oil that you could coat the inside of the grounding cord to help energies just slip right down your grounding cord. Now, I want you to imagine that you kind of pull your energy in around you. So even with like an inhale, just pull your energy in. It gets spread out throughout the day. It's probably spread out if you're sitting in your home and you're relaxed, so you can kind of scoop it in around you. Your aura is the egg-shaped bubble that sits 2 feet around you on all sides, 2 feet under your feet, 2 feet above your head, to your left, right, and front and back. And I'm going to call out some energies for you to release out of your body that will kind of go along with the whole boundary topic for tonight. So tuning into your body, see if you can bring your awareness into the center of your head. If you imagine drawing a line from the left ear through your head to the right ear, your third eye back through the back of your head, where those crosshairs intersect is the center of your head. And when you can focus your attention behind your eyes in this space, so you kind of bring it up out of your lower body chakras, you're not rolling your eyes backwards. You're literally just pulling your energy back to sit on those crosshairs. And when it's in this space, this is what will help you to have more neutrality to the energies you're working on releasing tonight. And it also gives you more neutrality if you have it there during the day, because it keeps you out of all of your lower body emotional chakras. Okay, again, tuning into your body, I want you to postulate that you can release the busyness out of your day. So think about all the rushing around, your to-do list, any stress. Tune in and allow that energy to be pulled out with gravity down through the grounding cord to the center of the planet. Maybe you need to take some deep breaths to help you release that energy. Okay, I want you to look for another energy, and that's the energy of demands. Think about how people place demands in your space. Friends, family, energy from your coworkers. And how are you responding, excuse me, to those demands at work by doing more of what is expected of you? Are you setting boundaries for yourself when somebody asks you to do something that isn't even your responsibility? So tune into your solar plexus. That's the space below your ribs, a few inches above your belly button. Tune into this space. can even put your hands there. And that's where a lot of people place demands. So tune in and you can release demands out of your space. You may know exactly what they are. You may have a sense of where they're sitting, or you may see or sense people in your space. Release that down the grounding cord. I want you to look for another energy in your space, or sense that it's where it's being held in your space. And that's the energy of expectations. Expectations placed on you from other people, for you to be who they think you should be, or how they think you should behave according to their expectations. So tune in and release the energy of expectations out of your space and down the grounding cord to the center of the planet. You know, when people put expectations in your space, or you may put expectations in other people's space. We did a healing on this a few months ago. You can never really meet other people's expectations, because they're really their expectations. So again, if you don't fulfill those expectations, people may get mad at you. So yes, there's an expectation for you to go do your job, your work, to show up, to be who you are. But oftentimes people will put extra expectations in your space. So really be aware of that. And when that energy comes in your space, realize that that's something that would be good for you to clear out and release. And any other modalities that you have besides a grounding cord, if you have other ways. Okay, I want you to just kind of tune into your heart chakra, because a lot of times I see expectations not just sitting in your solar plexus like demands, but expectations can also be centered in your heart chakra. Well, they could be anywhere, but I'm just tuning in right now, and I'm seeing some expectations in some people's heart chakras. So that's why I'm saying that. Okay, moving forward, release any unspoken words that you did not get to say today. Did you want to say no, but you weren't able to? Tune into your throat chakra. Any unspoken words you didn't get to say, or that you wished you could have said. I should have said no. It doesn't even have to be today. It could be over the past several days. Tune in and release that energy. You know, you could go back, excuse me, another time and really work on your throat chakra. If you're the type of person who has had a hard time throughout your life saying no, that would be a nice thing to do for yourself, is go back in meditation, get grounded, tune into your throat chakra, and be aware of your past when you didn't say no. I mean, we can all think of things that have been placed in on us, or whether it's work, relationships, family, where we just felt like we couldn't say no. Really tune in, and that would be a good time to release some of those times that you said yes when you really meant to say no, and clear that old energy out of your throat chakra. Okay, one more energy to release is the energy of problems. You may be holding onto some perceived problems that you think you have, but you can be holding on to other people's problems. So when you tune into your body, sense if you're working through a problem. Is it yours? What percentage is it even your problem? You can ask yourself that. People love to give you their problems to solve because they either don't want to solve them, they don't know how to solve them. But remember, you can't fix somebody else's problem because it's not yours. And the problem is when you take on somebody else's problem, your subconscious doesn't know that it's not your energy. And then you can start matching that energy and matching the same problems. You can match a relationship problem, a money problem, a work problem, and it's not even your energy. So when people like to dump stuff in your space or tell you their problems, stay in the center of your head, and you can kind of say, with real neutrality, that's why you're in the center of your head. I'm sorry, what are you going to do about it? I've told all of you that before, or many of you. When somebody dumps their problems on you, you can acknowledge what they're saying and then respond with, what are you going to do about it? And give them back their energy, give them back their problems. So if you find problems in your space right now, go ahead and release them, or the energy of people and their problems. Release it all the way down the grounding cord. And I'll give you a moment to do that, because I can see quite a few of you have other people's problems in your space. Okay. Whenever we release, we've got to replenish. So above your head, create the image, a mental image of a large, warm, golden sun sitting about 6 inches above your head. And think about where you left your energy over the past several days. Did you leave it in places and with people and electronic communication? So you imagine that your energy can be magnetized back into that sun above your head. You can see it come in as a texture or a color, or just postulate that you're kind of sweeping it up and it gets pulled into that sun above your head. And bring that sun in through the top of your head and fill yourself in completely, saturating all of your cells and organs from the tips of your toes up your legs. Saturate your torso, your cells, your organs. Or you can go from the head down, saturating your head, whichever way you'd like to do it, saturating from the top down, the bottom up. But run some of that gold down your grounding cord, so your gold from the center of the planet to the top of your head, to your fingertips. Remember, whenever you release, you have got to replenish, because it leaves spaces and gaps, the releasing does, and you want to replenish with high vibrational energy to fill those spaces in right away. You don't want other energies coming in and filling in those spaces and gaps. Okay, good job. Now, I'm going to talk to you about two quick tools that you probably all are pretty familiar with, but if not, if they're new to you, they're easy visuals to create that are really powerful. The first one is the tool of a protection rose. This is a symbol that you can create out in front of your aura to mark the edge of your aura. Your aura is your personal bubble, your personal boundary space. You know when somebody gets into your aura, or you can feel it. You know, people who are close talkers who get right up into your space and you're like trying to back up to back them off. That's because they're in your aura and it's very uncomfortable. So a protection rose is simply a symbol that you make that is as tall as you are, that sits 2 feet in front of you at the edge of your aura, because ideally your aura should be 2 feet around you. The rose portion, the flower portion, is as tall as your head. I make mine a little bit bigger than my head. It can be any shape or color, open, closed, you know, a tight bud or an open flower. So where the stem touches the ground, you make a grounding cord into the center of the planet. It doesn't matter whether it's red, pink, purple, the stem can have leaves on it. You don't need to make it thorny in order to keep people out of your space. You're just trust your tools. You don't need a rose on each side of you. You're just having one in front of you, 2 feet in front of you at the edge of your aura. And whenever you move, wherever you go, you're driving your car, you're running, that rose moves with you. I apply this tool every single day. And if I've had a busy day, I'll take a look at it and like, wow, there's not much left of that rose. It looks really brittle or burned up, or maybe there's just nothing left of it. Whatever is left of that rose, I explode and I create a new one in present time. So every day I have a new protection rose. And what this protection rose does, besides mark the edge of your aura, it's a buffer of energy that's being directed at you, whether you're in one-on-one with somebody or whether it's through electronic communication. This rose is a buffer. It's an absorber of energy. It's a marker, like a fence would mark the energy of somebody's home, their yard. This marks the edge of your aura, your boundary line. It also helps you to detect a truth from a lie. So if you have a protection rose up and you're talking to somebody, that literally will help filter some of that energy so that you know whether they are being truthful or not. So this is an important tool. If you've had a busy day, explode it midday and create a new one. So you don't have to, if you've had a mellow day, you may forget to look at it, but please stay on top of this. This is going to be a really great tool for you to mark the edge of your energetic and physical body and set a boundary. Now, if you're having a hard time keeping somebody out of your space, say you're setting your boundaries. I've got my protection rose up, I'm saying no, but I have a friend or a family member who keeps dumping their stuff in my space. I can just feel it. You don't even have to talk to them. Sometimes you know that somebody's throwing their junk on top of you, their crap. A really great and effective tool to keep somebody out of your energetic space that's really infringing on that. You can imagine either in your mind, or you can be out walking or look out your window and find a really tall tree that's pretty far away from you. And imagine that you have a rose that is that big. So say it's 100 feet away and 50 feet tall. Maybe it's 10 feet away and 10 feet tall. Whatever the distance is, how you'll apply this is imagining that tree, the rose is that size of the tree, and you set the intention you'd say, so-and-so, whoever this is that you're trying to keep out of your space energetically, this is as close as you can get to me energetically or physically. Now, if you work with them and they're in close contact, you may just be able to say, or maybe only able to say, this is as close as you can get to me energetically, because physically, they're going to be in your presence. But having that intention, and not with malice, not like, this is as close as you can get to me. This is something where you say it gently. So-and-so, this, I'm just showing you this rose. This is as close as you can get to me energetically or physically. And if you want to say hello to me, you can say hello to me in this rose, and I'll sense when you are saying hello, and I'll be able to tune in and acknowledge you. But I cannot tell you how powerful this tool is at keeping somebody out of your space. So those people who just don't get boundaries because they don't know where their aura is, and they've got a lot of problems that they keep dumping on you, use this tool. I've helped people whose parents get in their space. They may not even live near their parents, but their parents keep jumping in their relationship space or their personal business. Ground a rose as far away as you'd like, as big and tall, into the planet, and say, Mom and Dad, or whoever it is, this is as close as you can get to me energetically. And that will, or into my relationship space. You can be more specific if you want, but this is really, really, really powerful. So that rose, I don't necessarily explode all the time. What I do is I just recharge it, so to speak. I'll be out hiking and I'll stop and I'll pick a tree that I like, that's a certain distance and a certain, height. And I'll just say, as a reminder, okay, this is as close as you can get to me energetically or physically. And by making that intention frequently, that will be really helpful to you, for those of you who need to set boundaries, deeper boundaries with people. And so, remember that we're not victims. When we say, somebody's infringing on my boundaries, remember, this lies with you. I have a girlfriend who says that all the time. She doesn't speak up. She'll say, well, somebody was supposed to pay their fair share of this bill, but they didn't. And so I had to pay it. And I said, did you ask them to pay it? Well, no, because I just knew that they weren't going to want to pay it. I'm like, well, then that's on you. She's not a victim, but she likes to play the victim card. So, you don't feel sorry for those people. You have a voice, use it. If you feel like you're being taken advantage of, then you have to look at yourself. And not all of you are in that space, but this is about boundaries. So I just wanted to give you an example. Use your throat, tune in. You're going to feel so powerful when you have the voice to say no, and it'll help you grow your personal power. So be mindful also that you can do the same thing to other people. You can send your problems to them. You can impose your expectations on them. You can try to program with them with your demands. So be really aware that it's not just a one-way street. We do it to other people. And when you do that, if you just went, oh my gosh, I just programmed somebody, or I just dumped my energy in somebody's space, I shouldn't have done that. All you have to do is create a golden sun above your head and pull all of your energy back out of that person's space, collect it all back up, bring it into the sun above your head, and fill yourself in. One of our goals in life is to clear karma, not create it. So when we send energy to other people, you can be creating karma with them. So just be really mindful of how you're running your energy. All right, I want you to go ahead and create another golden sun above your head. And I'm going to go ahead and have you replenish yourself again. And maybe into this sun, you would like to put some energies that you would like to replenish with. So if you did a lot of releasing on boundaries, imagine sending the postulates or words written in gold floating into that sun above your head. You can maybe set it at that you can set boundaries with grace and ease, self-love, personal power, joy, gratitude, anything else that you would like for your week coming up, or you can even go as far out as setting some energies into that sun for what you want for the month ahead. So I'll give you a moment to fill that sun up with any energies that you'd like to add into that space. When you're ready, bring that sun in through the top of your head and fill yourself in. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come out of trance.